The market closes near all-time highs as the bulls aren't done. Where should we look for the next turn down? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about our primary path being that the bulls needed to push up towards 49.15 next, and that's exactly what we're seeing as the bulls pushed up towards near all-time highs at the close yesterday, and now we're looking toward that 49.15 level. I'll get into that in just one second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the Nasdaq. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the market moving up toward the 4900 region, our next target is 49.15, so let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 2-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. We did do a bigger picture view in yesterday's video, so if you want to check that out, if you want to know what's happening in a bigger sense, right now we're going to stay zoomed in toward the top of the S&P as to what's happening next. And so yesterday we talked about they were up here at the all-time highs. We talked about them pulling back in a microwave 4 and then pushing back up into this 1, 2, 3, 6 area. I said if they got below 48.65, then that would likely be opening the door to this 48.50 area. They did not, and now they're pushing higher to new all-time highs again. And so the next target is 49.14 or 49.15 if you want round numbers. And so that 49.15 area would be the next place to look. Now, does that mean they have to stop there? No. Wave 3s, and especially wave 3 of 3, which is what we're in right now, wave 3 of 3 does have the ability and the characteristic of extending. So the normal target is 49.15, but they can extend up to 49.33 or even above that. However, given how big this move up has been and where we're at, I would expect 49.15 to at least provide some resistance and look for a turn down from there. So overall, we have the bigger wave 1 and 2 up, and now we're completing this wave 3 of 3, or trying to complete it. And the next target again would be 49.14, assuming they can hold that area, 49.10 to 49.15, 49.20 in this area. Okay, we would look for them to hold and then push back down towards 48.50. And really what we have now is really clear parameters. If we're going to stay in a bullish, impulsive move to the upside, we really want 48.50 to 48.30 to hold. If they get below 48.30, that becomes a problem for the bulls. It's a warning sign. Doesn't mean they can't make it into some other structure, but in a standard impulsive move, 48.30 is kind of the line in the sand. So at 49.15, we're looking for a pullback into 48.50. Once we get to that area, we should look for standard pivot support down here. If we can get that kind of a choppy move and then break out again, we'd be looking up toward the next fib at 1618 for all of wave 3 in the 49.65 area. So the first thing we have to do is we got to break up over into this 49.15 area. Then we need to test the pivot. And wave 3 of 3 is done when they test the pivot. Now, if it stays under the 1, 2, 3, 6, the pivot stays where it's at. If not, the pivot moves up. And that's something I go over in our advanced Elliott Wave training, which is free to my subscribed members and is available to them now. It's not complete, but all the videos that are out, they have access to. So we talk about moving the pivot in that video or in that course. And the pivot moves the higher the market goes, and I show you where and how to move the pivot. But a test of the pivot tells you that wave 3 of 3 is done. A hold of the pivot tells you that likely wave 4 of 3 is done. And then a break back over this high tells us that we are in wave 5 of 3 headed toward generally the 1618 at the 49.65 area in this case. So that's what we're looking for as our primary path. A break of 48.30 opens the door to the downside. And we could see pretty rapid selling at that point coming off an all-time high. So 48.30 is kind of the level to watch to the downside. Over on the Nasdaq. Now on the Nasdaq, they did not come back and break the all-time high. And that's kind of normal here, especially if we look at the fact that the Nasdaq has already hit its 1, 2, 3, 6 extension. So it's very possible they push up a little bit here, maybe make a double top or a slightly higher high with the ES making 49.15 and then pull back to test the pivot in the Nasdaq. If they are going to give us a full extension, 17,695 would be the next target to look for resistance. But the 17,589 level did provide resistance for now. And so as long as they are below that level, we can look for a test of the pivot, as this is the common target for this wave 3 of this circle wave 3. So Nasdaq has already hit us 1, 2, 3, 6. So very possible we come up in a deeper retrace, don't quite make a high or just kind of spike a new high. And then when the ES tops turn down and test the pivot on the Nasdaq as well. Nasdaq, they want to stay above 17,140. Ideally, they hit 17,246 and bounce. That would be the area you'd be looking for the pivot to hold. But 17,140 is your line in the sand. And then the next target higher, if they can hold the pivot and take out this high, would be the 17,866 area. Remember, if they don't come down and test the pivot, if they start to extend higher, and they push through the 1, 2, 3, 6, the next target directly is 17,695, and we'd still expect a test of the pivot and then move higher. And again, the pivot will move up as each fib moves up. And again, I go over how to do that in our training courses. So this is what we'd be looking for. A primary path is that they would hit the 49.15 area on the ES, maybe even hold this 17,589 area on the Nasdaq, come back on both charts, test the pivot, then higher from there. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it. Make sure it's for you. Make sure you like the rooms, the people, me, PT, and make sure that you want to be part of that group before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. You literally have nothing to lose by coming and checking it out. We also have our advanced Elliott Wave course in the background. Our subscribers have that one. If you subscribe to either room, you get that for free. And the videos that are out are available to our inside members. We have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. This course is helping real traders make real money by finally understanding the market in a way that makes sense. It's hard when the market goes up on bad news and down on good news because the news cycles don't matter, and Elliott figured that out a long time ago. With the key numbers Elliott Wave gives you, you understand when the market is in a bullish or bearish stature and what to look for and what happens when those numbers break, and this gives you a huge advantage on the rest of the trading world. It is 25 videos where I go through 3 parts: the introduction, where we go over your expectations, the mindset, the KISS method and why it works, the chart setup and tools, where we go through every single tool you need to use along with Elliott Wave, how to use it, why to use it, and why it works, as well as the Elliott Wave for Beginners area, where I go through each of the waves and how to measure them, how to find them, how to understand what their targets are, as well as what happens when they break, what happens when they succeed. We go through the corrective depth theory, the theory of alternation, all the things you need to make sense of an irrational market. The cool thing, guys, is, like I mentioned before, if you don't want to pay for these courses, you can get them for free just by becoming a monthly member. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as all of the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing in day trade, which means we do trade quite often in my room. If you're looking for futures trading, individual stocks, income trading, as well as advanced training, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as futures trading, individual stocks, income trading, which, guys, it's an incredible trading method you kind of have to see. PT's been killing it with that. And then his reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money. And it's how he structures his trades that's so unique. It's something you really have to see to understand. And that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where you put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. Key takeaways for today: have pretty clear parameters here for the bulls. As long as they can stay above 48.30, the market remains in a bullish structure, and we'd be looking higher toward the 49.15 area next, then 49.65 after that. Over on the Nasdaq, same situation, bullish structure. As long as we're over 17,140, the market remains bullish. We would look for a pullback to test the pivot, and then the next higher number would be 17,866. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.